One of the things that people ask me about a lot over the years is, or one of the things they request is to have more confidence. And yeah, it's a very common request. I want to be more confident. And so I always ask, well, where do you want to be more confident? Because we all have places that we are confident. And usually when someone's asking for confidence, it's in a context where they're not feeling confident, maybe a job interview or public speaking or something of that nature. Or it's usually something that they're new at. And it's really interesting to study the structure, your structure for confidence. You know, in NLP, we talk about that some people represent their experience more visually or auditorily or kinesthetic, or in terms of body sensations. Okay? There's some noise here. But beyond just that distinction about, you know, what you're picturing, what you're saying to yourself, and what you're feeling, there's the question of how you're picturing something, or how you're hearing something, or how you're feeling something, and how you're working with your body. And in NLP, the term we use for this is the submodality, that the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic is the modality that you're experiencing something in. And then the finer distinctions about those are called submodalities. So that might be an example of a visual submodality, might be whether it's in color or black and white, whether it's a still image or a movie. So what you can do is you can identify one or a couple examples, hopefully, of something that you're confident about, a context where you feel confident. For example, most people are confident about walking, or they're confident in their ability to open their door or to brush their teeth. Now, these may seem trivial, but they are examples of places where you're confident, where you believe that consistently you can get a particular result. So if you take one of those, like maybe you're confident opening the door, and you just notice how you're representing that to yourself. And so hold that for a moment, and then think of another realm where you'd like to be more confident. Maybe it's something that you're new at. Maybe it's something that that you're wanting to develop, like, you know, your ability to do a job interview, for example. So pick something where you'd like more confidence, and then what we want to do is we want to hold them side by side, you know, or think about one and then in turn think about the other. So when it comes to opening the door, or the thing where you're confident, the first thing you want to notice is, where is that picture? So when you think about that place where you're confident, point to where the picture is. I'm pointing to where mine is. And then think about the place where you're not so confident, and point to that picture. And I think you'll notice that the pictures are in a different location. And then notice, are they both still frames, or is one a still, is one a movie? Is one a single image, or is one a collection of images? Sometimes we have a whole stack of images. You know, I have many, 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 many examples of opening doors. Are they both in color? Is one in black and white? So these are all visual submodalities. And at first, just go back and forth and back and forth. And then you can notice auditory submodalities. Is there anything that you say to yourself in the one where you're confident, or is there any sound that you hear? And then in the one where you're not confident, is there anything that you say to yourself in that situation? And in particular, pay attention to the tone of voice. Very often we might have an uncertain tone of voice, not just what we're saying. We may be saying things that express doubt. But at the same time, it may just be the tone of voice that we're using. And then also notice how you experience your body when you're really in the experience where you're confident. How do you stand? How's your posture? How are you breathing? And then when you're not confident, how do you stand or sit? How are you breathing? How do you hold yourself? I notice myself immediately, my posture pulls down a little bit in the place where I'm a little less confident. And then the one where I'm confident, I kind of open up. I'm very loose. Now, just for fun, what you can do is take the whole picture of the one that you're not confident and just move it over into the location of the place where you feel confident. Just take the picture and move it over there and just see what it's like to feel, how you feel about it when it's in that location. Sometimes people's pictures will change when it moves into that other location. Location is one of the most powerful submodalities for many people. If it was a still picture where you weren't confident and it's a movie where you're confident, turn it into a movie and just see what that does. See how it shifts your feelings. If you notice that your posture was different, just try on the confident posture in relation to the other content where you weren't so confident. And what I would recommend is practice going back and forth with a few things. It may sound crazy, but you can even take the thing where you're confident and you can move it into the location where you're not so confident. And you may find that you'll actually begin to doubt your ability to be consistent or confident in that area. It's very, very interesting. And this is a skill. Noticing the submodalities is a skill. Changing them one at a time is a skill. But with practice, you'll find that you'll have just an immense amount of choice in your ability to move one experience to another. Now, this doesn't replace practicing something. Sometimes, like if I take something where I'm not very confident and I move it into the confident location, and I'm gesturing to where my location is, yours may be in a different place. Sometimes I notice, oh, I need a bunch more examples. Let me go gather a bunch more examples, put them all there. And that will help me feel more confident. But at least then I know what I need to do and I can go do the work really quickly and build up the experience I need to feel confident in that area. You know, a lot of times what I notice at the level of content is, you know, people want to be confident with something like a job interview. And if you think about it, we just don't get that many opportunities to have job interviews. And if part of you feeling confident is many, many repetitions, which it is for a lot of people, not for everyone, then you may want to set up contexts where you can at least practice even mock interviews. So you can gather all the examples that you need so that you can start to feel more confident in that realm. Yeah, so I would recommend going back and forth. And by the way, you know, I've done this with other examples. Here I pick confident and feeling not so confident or feeling doubt about your ability. But this can work with any two experiences. It can work with something that you're inspired to do versus something that bores you. And all of a sudden you can find inspiration with the thing that used to bore you. This opens up like just tremendous opportunities in terms of what you have access to. And you know, it's amazing how much you can move your own subjective experience just by playing with the dials on our inner kind of movie screen. So I encourage you to give that a shot.